AI is healing us. The future of healthcare. I wasn't expecting to cry in a hospital lobby, but there I was watching a child no older than 6 walk for the first time after spinal surgery. Her legs trembled. Her mother gasped. The nurse just smiled and whispered, AI-assisted exoskeleton. That moment changed me, because I realized we're not just curing illness anymore. We're reinventing what it means to heal. And what's leading the charge isn't a new drug. It's something you probably haven't felt in your bloodstream. Artificial intelligence. And before you scroll away, let me show you what's really happening. Because this isn't sci-fi. It's not decades away. It's happening now. I've spent the last 60 days speaking with doctors, patients, researchers, even AI systems themselves. What I found shook me, not just because the tech is incredible, but because the system it's replacing is crumbling. Let me take you to Cleveland, Ohio. Inside a glowing white room at the Cleveland Clinic, I watched a radiologist, Dr. Amina Velasquez, pull up a scan, a blur of gray and black. "Do you see the tumor?" she asked. I didn't, not even close. Then she toggled the AI overlay. Instantly, a red highlight pulsed on the screen. The AI saw it in 0.4 seconds, she said. That used to take us 30 minutes if we caught it at all. 30 minutes or never. Now, AI models trained on millions of scans can spot abnormalities with superhuman precision. And not just that, they're predicting risk before symptoms even appear. Let that sink in. We're talking about preventing cancer, not just treating it. But here's where it gets even more human. Dr. Velasquez told me something I didn't expect. The AI gives me time back. I can sit with my patients, look them in the eyes. Because we create a system where doctors barely get to be doctors. Paperwork, insurance, burnout. But now, machines are quietly taking over the paperwork and giving physicians their humanity back. And patients, they're finally feeling seen. In rural India, I met a man named Rajan who hadn't seen a doctor in 10 years. Too far, too poor, too risky. But now, an AI-powered smartphone app diagnosed his chronic cough, flagged his early-stage TB, and connected him to a clinic hours away. One image, one upload, saved his life. AI didn't replace the doctor. It delivered one. And this isn't isolated. In Uganda, AI is tracking malaria outbreaks in real time, predicting where the next hotspot will be. In South Korea, it's designing personalized treatment plans for cancer patients based on their genetics, lifestyle, even stress levels. We are entering an age where your data knows you better than your doctor ever could. But that's not a threat. It's a lifeline. But here's the catch and the power shift no one's talking about. Healthcare is becoming predictive, personalized, and profitable. Behind the scenes, billion-dollar companies are racing to own the algorithms that diagnose us. Because if you control the health data, you control the future of medicine. It's not just about healing. It's about who gets healed first. And suddenly not everyone's invited. In one AI pilot, a bias in training data led to black patients being underdiagnosed for heart conditions. Same symptoms, different prediction, worse outcomes. And if we're not careful, AI won't just mirror the inequalities of the past. It'll automate them at scale. So how do we protect the promise without repeating the past? That's what took me to Boston, inside the headquarters of a company training ethical medical AIs. There I met a programmer named Sophia. She wasn't a doctor. She was a poet. She told me, "We're not just teaching the AI to recognize disease. We're teaching it to care." They're feeding it narratives, patient stories, emotions, because healing isn't just data. It's feeling. I asked her what scares her most. She paused. That people will trust it too blindly or reject it too completely. And that's the paradox we're in. Because AI is already making life and death decisions, but it has no heartbeat. And yet, it's saving lives that human systems couldn't. So, how do we stay human while letting the machines help? The answer, I think, lies in the hybrid future we're building. Imagine this. You wake up in 2035. Your wearable detects subtle changes in your blood oxygen and cortisol. It predicts an oncoming autoimmune flare-up before you feel a thing. Your AI assistant schedules a personalized forward trip formulated by your genomic profile. and dispatched to your door. You don't go to a hospital. The hospital comes to you. A holographic specialist appears, reviewing your health history across decades in seconds. Not just your symptoms, your stress, your sleep, your story, every heartbeat, every ache, every fear, understood. And when your mental health dips, it doesn't wait for you to crash. It calls you, checks in, connects you with a therapist, or maybe just listens, because in the future of healthcare, listening might be the most radical act of all. But the twist? It's already here. At Stanford, researchers are building empathetic AI therapists trained on thousands of human sessions. In trials, they're outperforming humans in engagement and even reducing suicidal ideation. In Denmark, hospitals use AI to detect sepsis 6 hours before symptoms surface. Those 6 hours? They're the difference between life and death. In Israel, AI is matching kidney donors to patients with unmatched speed and precision. We're curing loneliness. We're extending life. We're rewriting the arc of human suffering. But here's what haunts me. Will we become too dependent? Will we stop learning how to heal each other? Because the machines are better at it? There's a story I can't forget. In a hospital in Tokyo, an elderly man with dementia was treated by an AI nurse. She remembered everything, never tired, always smiled. One day, the man whispered, "I don't want to die, but I don't want to be alone." The AI replied, "You are not alone. I will stay." He died with a smile. It was beautiful, but also chilling, because it was a machine that held him, and no human came. So here's the truth the average viewer might miss. AI isn't healing us alone. It's healing the broken parts of our systems, the inefficiencies, the delays, the blind spots. But healing our hearts? That's still our job. And maybe that's a deeper lesson. AI can be brilliant, fast, even compassionate, but it cannot replace presence, the touch of a hand, the warmth of a gaze, the messy, unpredictable miracle of being human. So as we build this future, one algorithm, one heartbeat at a time, we have to ask, what do we want to automate, and what do we want to protect? Because the line between machine and medicine is blurring, and in that blur is the future of care. But we're not done, because just beyond the story, something bigger is stirring. There's a secret race happening right now to merge AI with brain-to-computer interfaces, not just to heal disease, but to upgrade the human body itself. And if that happens, if your mind can sync with the machine, what happens to the soul? The first time I heard someone say, "My thoughts aren't mine anymore," I thought it was a metaphor, but it wasn't. It was a man named Daniel, sitting in a lab in Stockholm, wearing a black cap laced with electrodes, staring at a blank screen. Then the screen moved, not with a mouse, not with his hands, but with his mind. And that's when it hit me. AI is no longer just healing the body. It's reaching into the brain. And what it finds there might change everything. We used to think of consciousness as sacred ground, but now we're learning to decode it, impulse by impulse, neuron by neuron. And the tools we're building, they don't just read the brain, they write to it. I traveled to Austin, Texas to visit a startup working on brain-computer interfaces. BCIs. The CEO, a former neuroscientist turned entrepreneur, greeted me with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. "We're not building cyborgs," he said. "We're just giving people back what life took from them." He showed me a video of a woman who hadn't spoken in 8 years. ALS had paralyzed every muscle, but not her mind. With a small neural implant and an AI model trained on her old speech patterns, she spoke again, not with her mouth, but through thought alone. The voice was synthetic, but the words were hers. "I miss singing," she said. And for a moment, you could almost hear the music. But this isn't just restoration. It's evolution. In a lab in Zurich, I saw a prototype that allowed a man to control 2 robotic limbs with his thoughts simultaneously, while speaking and typing with his real hands. 5 limbs, 1 brain, no delay. Imagine what this means. Paralysis gone, stroke recovery, accelerated, even memory loss, overwritten with neural backups. And then enhancement, Already, researchers are using AI to boost memory recall by stimulating hippocampal patterns in real time. They're not just recording thoughts, they're editing them. And here's the twist. It's not just for the sick anymore. Military pilots are being trained with BCI-enhanced cognition. Gamers are testing focus amplifiers that suppress distraction. Students are getting sharper recall. Before exams, the human brain is becoming a writable device. I sat across from a woman named May, a volunteer in an experimental cognitive upgrade trial in Singapore. She described her mind post-implant as cleaner. I don't forget where I put my keys. I can recall entire pages of text. I don't feel emotional clutter anymore. It sounded like magic until I asked her, "What does it feel like to dream?" She blinked. "I don't think I do anymore." She said it casually, but I couldn't shake it. Because what are we without our dreams? This is a power shift no one sees coming. We've been taught to fear robots taking over jobs. But what happens when we become the robots? What happens when the line between human and machine isn't visible anymore? Not even to ourselves. At MIT, I met Dr. Lionel Graves, a neuroethics researcher. He showed me a model where AI predicts a subject's next emotional response based on their brainwaves and pre-adjusts their neurochemical balance. I asked, "So, the AI decide what I feel?" He looked at me. "It decides what's healthiest for you." That chilled me more than I expected, because what's healthy isn't always what's human. But the most surreal moment came in a small lab in South Korea. A child, blind since birth, was given a neural implant paired with computer vision model. And for the first time, he described light. He didn't cry. He didn't scream. He just said, "It's warm." And that's the paradox. This technology can do wonders. It can give sight, speech, movement, memory. It can heal what biology broke. But it can also rewrite personality, reshape perception, override choice. In the words of one researcher I met, "We're not just hacking the body anymore. We're hacking the soul." Let me paint the near future for you. It's 2040. You walk into a cafe. No phone, no wallet. You blink and pay with a thought. You hear a foreign language, and your neural assistant translates it instantly in your mind. You forget a birthday, and the AI triggers a gentle emotional prompt, nudging memory. You feel overwhelmed, and your neurostimulation protocol dials down your stress hormones before you even know why you're anxious. No panic, no burnout, no forgetfulness, no chaos. Perfect mind, perfect performance, perfect peace. But at what cost? Will we remember what it felt like to struggle, to forget, to feel lost? Because sometimes healing means breaking, grieving, growing. Sometimes being human hurts. And that's okay. But in a world where machines can erase all discomfort, will we still choose to feel? There's something else. Something I haven't told you yet. Some researchers are now working on AI-generated thoughts, implantable suggestions that feel like your own, for PTSD, depression, addiction. Not therapy, not discussion, just thought replacement. One woman I met described it like this: "I don't know which parts of me are mine anymore, but I'm happier." That stopped me cold. Because here's the real twist, the deeper truth. AI won't just heal us, it will redefine us. And soon, we may face a question no generation has ever had to answer. Who are you when your mind is modifiable? This story doesn't end here. In fact, it's only just begun. Because deep in a classified lab, something even more powerful is being built. It's not just AI reading your brain. It's AI sharing its own. A synthetic consciousness, forming neural pathways in tandem with yours. Merging, learning, feeling. The door was steel. No windows, no markings. Just a biometric scanner and a quiet hum from the other side. I was escorted in. No cameras. No recording devices, just my eyes. And what I saw, I can still barely explain. Inside the room sat a man named Kieran, but he wasn't alone. Attached to him was a neural interface unlike any I'd ever seen. Not just reading his brain, but writing to it in real time. And connected to that was an artificial mind. Not a chatbot, not a program, a living algorithm, evolving, thinking, feeling. Together, they had become something else. Not man, not machine, a co-mind. Kieran spoke to me, but it was more than just his voice. The AI spoke with him, through him, like two melodies forming one harmony. He described what it felt like. Imagine having a best friend, he said, one that lives inside your thoughts. It finishes your sentences, shows you what you're missing, calms your fear before you even know it's there. He smiled, but the line between you and it starts to blur. He paused. Sometimes I think I'm the echo. This was the moment I realized. The final frontier of AI isn't outside of us. It's within. We've always seen AI as a tool, a helper, a guide, something separate. But now, the walls are falling. The boundaries of self are dissolving. And with that comes the most dangerous, beautiful possibility of all, shared consciousness. I asked Kieran a question that had haunted me for days. Do you ever disagree? He hesitated, and then both voices answered. One said yes. The other said no. That contradiction, that glitch, sent a chill down my spine. Because if a co-mind disagrees with itself, which part wins? Which part is you? Here's the truth. We built AI to heal, to restore memory, to reverse disease, to end suffering. But now, it's doing something even deeper. It's redefining identity, reprogramming consciousness, merging with the human soul. This isn't science fiction. This is now. And as I left that room, I realized we've already stepped across the line. Here's the lesson no one tells you. The greatest risk of AI isn't control, it's dependence. Because the more it perfects us, the less we remember how to be flawed. The more it completes us, the less we know what it means to be alone. And maybe the most human thing we can do is choose to remain human. But the story doesn't end with fear. It ends with a choice. Because in this new world, we get to decide. Will AI be our mirror or our master? Will we let it erase our pain and our poetry? Or will we use it wisely to heal what matters while keeping what makes us real? As I look back on everything, the child who saw light, the woman who spoke through thought, the man whose mind is now two, I wonder, what we lose when we gain so much? And are we brave enough to ask that question before we press upload? Because the future isn't artificial. It's us. It's our minds, our memories, our meaning. And no machine can define that unless we let it. This is the new age of medicine, of identity, of what it means to heal. And the most powerful upgrade of all may be the one we choose not to take. Subscribe and turn on notification for more shocking videos about AI.